President, the Senator from Arizona, thank you for recognizing me. I want to speak just briefly about the vote that we just cast, but more than the vote, the topic that it represents. The Pier constructed to deliver aid to Gaza was a failure, and it was a very expensive failure, and it's cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. It was an idea poorly conceived and poorly executed. It is unsustainable to maintain and is not fulfilling its purpose. It should be dismantled, and there are already plans underway to eliminate the pier after remaining aid has been distributed or removed. Our U.S. forces, as they were in this instance, were called upon to deliver aid to areas of the world that are plagued by violence or areas that are hostile to the United States. And my complaint about the planning is nothing to distract from my admiration and respect for those who serve our country, and that continues in those individuals in the military who have served in the effort to try to provide aid to the people of Gaza. But this is not an isolated instance in which the United States and its military are asked to serve. The United States has previously assisted Iran after a devastating earthquake. This year, U.S. forces have delivered aid to Haiti, which is racked with gang violence. The capabilities of the United States military and the generosity of the American people to help innocent victims, no matter who they are or what government rules over them, is a testament to America's goodness and to American power. The point I want to make is the War Powers Resolution allows Congress to remove forces, quote, engaged in hostilities without specific authorization. I want to caution my colleagues against utilizing these authorities and setting a precedent that Congress can or should intervene anytime we simply don't like the entity, the people who are receiving the aid. I wholeheartedly respect Congress's ability to utilize war powers when appropriate. There is no greater responsibility we have than deciding when to send our sons and daughters to take part in a war. This decision should not and must not be allowed to reside with the President, with the executive branch alone. Yet, too often, it's exactly what we do, ignoring our obligations as members of Congress. The framers of our nation determined that war is to be declared by Congress. And in too many instances, and way too often, we fail to live up to our constitutional responsibilities. I believe there are many more opportunities, more pressing and more damaging to our troops than just this failure of the pier, where Congress could and should intervene. At this moment, for example, the United States sailors are engaged in kinetic activities against the Houthis without any such authorization. Just like the Gaza pier, the Biden administration has placed service members in harm's way without any strategy for success, at significant cost to taxpayers and finite defense munitions. This pier demonstrated President Biden's ham-fisted approach to the Middle East. Why should we allow him, but the point is broader than that, why should we allow him or any president to continue missions that are adrift and have no prospect of a solution? It is the failure of Congress's part to assert our constitutional obligations in matters of war. Today's vote was a step, I think, in the right direction, but we have much more to do to carry out the responsibilities we were elected to. I've said this on the Senate floor many times: when Congress looks the other way, when a president of either party issues executive orders or rules and regulations that make no sense under the law that was enacted that they are operating under, it is important. I think, again, I've said this on the floor before, too many times people just want the result they want and they don't care about the process by which they get it. And the process is what protects our freedoms and liberties. The process is what the Constitution is about. And we ought to be fulfilling our constitutional responsibilities, certainly when it comes to the ability to have members of our military in harm's way. Our freedoms and liberties are determined by that. The framers understood that this country should not have a king and that the powers are vested in the legislative branch, not the executive. Madam President, I yield the floor.